Hi, my name's Sue Ellam, and I'm a professional tarot reader and have been for 25 years. And I'm using the Mythic Tarot, which are based on Greek mythology.
Hi, I'm Carrie Beleno, intuitive Reiki master teacher and a spiritual life coach, here to assist you in moving through this transitional time we are in right now. So today's question: how do we trust what we are told by spiritual people?
Okay. By always making sure your head is engaged, using your intelligence, not just blind faith, because remembering spiritual people are also people, and they don't always, and their opinions will come into certain things as well. It's very hard to completely divorce yourself from your opinion. Even when people are channeling, you can get just a flavor every now and again. It's a personal belief rather than something that was channeled. I mean, I'm not, this is not a criticism. It's just, this is just the way it is. The way that I will read the cards and things is based on my personal experience. And you might resonate with it, you might not. But I caution you, don't just believe everything I say either, or because that might not resonate with your reality, or might not be what you need to hear at that time. So always make sure that you are thinking with your head as well as with your heart. Does this make sense? Because the King of Swords is about making plans. Where do I want to be in 3 months' time? Where do I want to be in 6 months' time? Setting goals. And these goals are to do with your own personal evolution. And it's more difficult to do if you're hanging slavishly onto the word of a psychic, a guru, a spiritual teacher, and you're believing everything that they're saying, because that is their journey. You're meant to listen to the words and then look at them in the cold light of day. Does that make sense to me? Is this part of my journey? Or say, well, I believe that, but that other thing doesn't feel right to me. So it's important to set your own goals, and as I said, make sure your head's engaged, because ultimately all teachers are there to help you to find your way to your own life purpose. Their life purpose is to be who they are, to do the best they can with the knowledge and the information they get from their guides, from whatever source. I always think of every person on this planet that's alive at this time. Is nobody will get complete enlightenment, because I think every single person, from a child to a grandmother, doesn't matter what nation you're in, everybody, that is my personal belief, everybody has one little bit of the truth. And we only, by talking to lots of different people, we then can hear their part of the truth and incorporate it into our understanding. And so therefore, one person can never give you everything. They can only give you their truth, and some of it will resonate, some of it won't. So this is, remember that they are there to shed a light on something that will help you on your own soul journey. So you can ask, who am I? What's my purpose? Why am I here on the planet? You already know why they're there, but where am I on this planet? So hopefully something that I say will resonate with you, and you think, oh yes, that's a bit, and that's what I needed to hear. And you might just later on today meet somebody at the bus stop who will give you another piece of something, because you just happen to be kind of in idle chatter with them, and they will give you something else. So spiritual people, yes, they've embraced the spiritual life, but they're not the only people that have done that. You could find the woman that's working in the grocery shop. She can just have as much spiritual information to share, but she does it in a different way. So it's important not to put anybody on a pedestal. That's really the message. It's your life journey, your life purpose, and any information that you can get is good, because even if it's not what you don't, it's not something you resonate with, at least you know you don't resonate with it. So that isn't your direction. It's loving yourself as well, not putting people above you, not thinking, oh, well, they know more than I do. You know a lot. And the more you read, the more you watch YouTube channels or whatever it is, more you talk to people, the more you will also learn, the more you, because this is the very beginning of the learning. And it's like loving yourself, loving other people, learning new things, learning new projects, but also this is the beginning, so it's quite fragile. It needs to be nurtured. So, talk to people that are going to support you, not to tell you, don't let anyone ever tell you you're wrong. I remember people saying, well, they'd ask me a question and I'd answer. They said, well, that's wrong. And that is not the kind of people that you need giving you spiritual advice, religious advice, or whatever it is, because no one's right, no one's wrong. We've all got a different journey, and we have to learn from that, and people around us will learn from it. Ultimately, it's the courage to come out of your comfort zones, jump off the cliff into the unknown, not knowing where you're going to land. So I think my main message here is, don't hold people up on pedestals. Don't think they're special. Yes, they might have developed in their own particular field. I mean, I've been doing this 25 years. Carrie's been doing her stuff over 20 years as well. And so we have learned from experience, we've learned by our own life lessons. But not every single word that comes out of our mouth is going to resonate with you particularly. So take what resonates, take what, kind of dispense with the rest, and use it to build your own steps in order to get to the point that you can come out of your own comfort zone and say, okay, now I've learned a lot, and now I can jump off into my new experience of who am I, what's my purpose. I know enough in order to start my journey or embrace the next step of my journey. And you're doing it with confidence, but you can't. I mean, what's just popped into my mind is when what's her name? During Virtue, the devastation that people felt when she turned her back on the cards and things like that. People felt grief, they felt betrayed, because they had put her up in this pedestal of somebody that was kind of their guru. And I'm only mentioning her because of the devastation that she left in her wake. But she was just following her own life journey, which she was perfectly entitled to do. But there's so many people were hanging on her every word. They felt absolutely destitute. They didn't know where to turn once she'd kind of denounced it all. So the lesson really is to learn to be strong within ourselves, so we have our own beliefs, and then we can listen to different people and add to our own knowledge by doing so, but no gurus. And those are the cards.
No gurus. Goodness knows that I have traveled that path myself, both with following people and also by closing down what I've done and started fresh, so that I could separate from feeling like I was that for people. As much as I want to serve and guide and be there for people, it's also very uncomfortable when you find yourself in a situation that people are dependent. So I have experienced that firsthand as well. So collect your pieces. When I was a young adult, I remember I was very close to a pastor, and that person, he was very instrumental in my faith. And I remember I found Shirley MacLaine's book about Into the Light or something like that, when she first talked about discovering past lives. And she first talked about pulling the experiences of past lives into her memory, and the reincarnation. And it was fascinating to me, and it resonated, and I was so excited about it. And I remember I asked this pastor, like, I read this book and this reincarnation, boy, I got shot down, and it just was not in his wheelhouse. It wasn't what he was trained to believe. It was not what he believed. And he basically said, that's nonsense. Please don't believe that. It's just somebody's stories or whatever. And I was so hurt. I had thought I kind of had found something. And so what was that? 35 years ago, almost 40 years ago. So I was one piece that shut down for me. So I guess I'm encouraging you, if you're bringing something forward and it resonates with you from a teacher or somebody that calls themselves spiritual. And I do want to define the definition of spiritual. Spirituality is being concerned with the welfare of the spirit or the welfare of the soul. So just like Sue said, that grocery worker checkout person can be very spiritual and very concerned with the welfare of spirit, and not necessarily have her door open as a psychic. So those are the spiritual pieces you want to look for. Those are the words of wisdom or the experiences that you want to gather. And if someone doesn't resonate with you, just because you believe it, don't abandon what you believe until you investigate it a little more. Just because Doreen Virtue, for example, says that that's not true and that isn't what she believes anymore, and this is her change of heart, doesn't mean that you have to, if it still resonates with you. So it's very important that you keep your eyes and ears open for all of the little spiritual tidbits that will keep you growing and evolving. And don't lose heart. Keep connecting with the people. And like Sue said, we might be able to offer personally a tidbit, and then we may not have anything else for a while for you. And that's okay. We do the same thing as we connect with people. So
yeah, it's just being discerning and listen to what
trust your intuition.
Absolutely. Because I know that sometimes people say, oh, well, you can listen to this, and something just withdraws in me, and I'm thinking, no. Though it's very valuable for someone else. We're all on different journeys and different times and different places on our journey. I remember, over 20 years ago now, I was in Australia, and this lady, I was sharing a place with her. She was, I was in Queensland, and I was sharing this flat that the owner lived upstairs, and she was like a healer of healers. She's very spiritual, lovely woman. And I was sharing this place with this other woman, and I was doing my handwriting analysis. And so she said, "Oh, will you do analyze my handwriting?" And so I said, "Fine." So, and I can't remember what I said, but I know I hit a nerve. She said, no, absolute rubbish, absolute rubbish. Well, I knew what I'd said was accurate, but I said, "Look, I'm a bit tired. Let's just leave it, you know." And then I left that place. I went over to New Zealand for about 3 months or so, and then I came back. In the meantime, she'd actually had a reading from the lady upstairs, a healer of healers, and that had gone really well. And then perhaps 6 months later, she said, "Oh, would you do my handwriting again?" I said, "Sure." This time I said exactly the same thing, and she agreed with it. So I wasn't the right person for her at that time. But 6 months, but she needed to see Joyce, a friend, before. And then she saw me, and then she embraced what I said to her. But there was something, the timing wasn't right.
So, note to energy workers and healers: you are not a failure if you don't resonate with your client. If you feel like you didn't say the right things, or they didn't accept what you had to say or offer, even though it's what you felt, do not lose heart. It does not mean that you don't know what you're doing, or that you didn't tap in right, or that you're somehow a failure. It just means that the timing wasn't right.
Absolutely. We can only do the best we can with what we have at that current moment.
Time. Correct. I say that a lot.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's all from me. Please do like, share, and subscribe if you like our conversations and we resonate with you. But don't worry if we don't.
Yes.
We quite understand.
Come back tomorrow. Maybe it'll be something new. And if you're listening to my podcast, please head over to my YouTube channel, Carrie Beleno, and you can see the cards that Sue is pulling and get the visuals.
Yeah, me and my white face in the London sunshine.
me and my orange glow. So.
Okay, bye from me.
And we'll see you tomorrow.